Can you see if I press play? I think I did.
How does my hair look?
You did press play.
2,
Yes.
1. Take us away.
Welcome to For Time. My name is Robin. My pronouns are she and they.
I'm Jared. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jared.
Hey there.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the level method in terms of people who've done CrossFit before but are new to the level method.
Yes.
So lots of people fall into that category, whether you were a member of Myriad in the past and are joining our community again and being introduced to the level method, or people who are moving from out of town or from a different gym who do CrossFit already and are joining us and again, newly reintroduced to the level method.
Yes, and just to add to that, I selfishly want to put in there that I want to speak to individuals who have done CrossFit before in the past, who may have had either a bad experience, have been burnt out, have kind of just like left CrossFit in the dust. Anyone who has had an experience, who has had an inkling of a thought to potentially come back and do CrossFit again, because speaking to Myriad, we are completely different than who we used to be, but also CrossFit is a lot different now than what it used to be in the sense of fitness, in the sense of like what it is CrossFit's trying to achieve or does do for somebody. So just want to throw that in there too.
Yeah, that's good context. I have a lot of questions for you.
Yes, yeah. I'm on the hot seat, by the way, if you all didn't like kind of recognize the pattern we're going here. So it's been flipped. I'm very uncomfortable because this isn't my good side. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Robin said this is her good side. My wife has a good side. I didn't even know there was a such thing as a good side. But anyways, questions.
So you said CrossFit has evolved and looks different now. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I started doing CrossFit seriously in 2011, had dabbled in CrossFit many years prior to that, doing kind of weird workouts, the Filthy 50, the 300 workout, all these different things. And CrossFit back in the day, the hardcore CrossFit that we know, that unfortunately most of the general public knows, used to be applauded in the sense that like you rip your hands, like the hardest workouts you can possibly imagine, workouts that were going to make you vomit, and they actually had a clown called Pukey the Clown that was a mascot for CrossFit. Did you know that?
I think you told me that. Yeah.
That was a mascot for CrossFit, and there are certainly OGs and people in the CrossFit world who've been doing this for many years longer than I, who still believe in that mentality. However, we as a facility at Myriad CrossFit aren't necessarily under that same ideology, I guess you would say. We are definitely in the world of, we use CrossFit as a tool to allow people to do fitness and be healthy and fit for as long as they possibly can. And that is through coaching, that is through technique, that is through consistency. And that's the brand of CrossFit that we work towards here at Myriad. And I just want to make sure like the general public, not only our members, but general public know that, see that, hear that, feel that.
Yeah.
And I can tell you with the level method specifically, it's become even more apparent in our consistency and what our values are with that.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Can you then put that into context for, you were sharing with me a little bit about your own experience and how what you just shared about like the history of CrossFit and how it's evolved both overall and in our gym, how that has shown up in the micro for you, to give an example of like what that could look like for someone who maybe was burnt out on CrossFit and is maybe re-energized.
Totally. I mean, and thank you. 2011, got very into the competitive side of CrossFit all the way up until 2014. Went to the CrossFit Games as a teammate or as a competitor on a team. So very, very high level training, 3-4 hours a day in this sport, in this element of fitness. 2015, 16, 17, kind of like continued that on. 2016 is when I officially stopped like competing, but still love CrossFit. Still did CrossFit daily, but also found myself getting burnt out and kind of tired of CrossFit as a whole. And to the point where 2019, 20, 21, 22, I started doing different type of journeys, different type of training, ran a marathon during all that, trained for a sub 5 minute mile, which I never did hit. Did get the 5:16, but never got sub 5.
Still impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But have gone in and out of, the ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys of like, man, like, I'm bored of CrossFit. I'm burnt out from CrossFit. This isn't what I want to do. To now where I feel re-energized, reinvigorated, just having the big giant 4x8 map of the level method, the method of athletic progression, being able to put myself on a map and knowing that like I have specific goals within that realm of the different 15 assessments has given me direction. And I've been so excited to jump into programming that the level method provides. I've been very excited to see the energy in the classes because a lot of people are now doing the same workouts, however, with a more individualized aspect to it, because that's what the level method's all about. And it's just been really, really cool and welcoming, but it's just been awesome for myself to like have a direction for fitness.
That's really cool for people, I think, for me and for other people to hear, like you've been in CrossFit for so long and you yourself are like re-energized and have a focus. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about if someone's coming here and they don't, like they've done CrossFit and they see the levels and like, oh, I don't know that I want to really be assessed or evaluated, and I don't know if I have specific goals, I just want to work out. Like, what would you say to someone who falls into that category?
I personally would say, cool, then come work out.
Cool.
And, the level method is a system, but it is still CrossFit. And at the end of the day, CrossFit is still CrossFit. Like the idea of us writing one workout on the board for the last 13 years, and then individuals taking that workout and scaling as they see fit, and doing their version of that workout, that's still completely acceptable as well as accessible through what we have here with the level method. And there is a part of me that wants to challenge that individual and encourage that individual to give level method a try because it does give a little bit more accountability, encouragement of like calling out your weaknesses, so to speak. And there's something to be said of working on those weaknesses to challenge you not only physically, but also mentally, to kind of push you outside your boundaries. And that's hard, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of life.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's kind of the concept of like when you get knocked down, like how quickly can you get back up?
Yep.
Same thing when you're working on something you're not very good at.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not fun to practice double unders continuously because I can't get a double under. But you know what is fun? After 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months of trying, getting your first double under and you being like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
Yeah.
My story on that is handstand walking. Never in my life, I'm a bigger guy, never in my life did I think I could do handstand walking.
Yeah.
And then eventually it was just like kick up. And then from a kick up, it's then start, practicing one step. And then from there it's like, it's all baby steps, it's all progressions to eventually get to something. Now I can handstand walk.
Yeah.
Is it functional? That is a conversation that exactly. Some people would disagree with that, but it's just something that I enjoy.
I myself have had a similar thing with the pull-up. Like I think the pull-up is a big thing for a lot of people.
For sure.
And even with my knowledge of like the things to do to get there, like I still being able to see my levels and see, okay, like upper body pull is one of my lowest levels, and not only like, okay, I know that, but then I see that, okay, it goes from a hold and then a hold for how long, and being able to have those accountability baby steps. I have been surprised by my progress already in like a month and a half, and I knew already logically what I had to work on, but being able to see where I'm going has been really helpful.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you to like for you to map out the beginning of your journey all the way to here now. Now that you have your levels and have been doing the programming a little bit, what goals are you working on now?
Yeah, so my weakness has been strength for a long time. I've been kind of like focused as like a cardio run, more of like running athlete over the last couple of years. So like I also have some back issues. So I personally have been doing a little bit of one-off personal training to kind of reset like the structure of my body and certain lower back issues I've had, which has been super, super successful. Shout out to Coach Richie for helping me with that, and I meet with him once a week. But with that being said, strength is where I want to focus. So like my deadlift, my front squat, my back squat, like a lot of load-bearing exercises for the past I don't know, 6 years, 7 years have been painful for me, to where like days after my back hurts and I feel, like I can't do anything else. I want to get past that and beyond that, and I'm finding myself in a place closer and closer to being there. And it's been really, really encouraging, really, really exciting to have that. So having the level method, like calling that out as a weakness, which I already knew was, and now me having a game plan set forth to attack that weakness is what really, really excites me.
That's awesome.
Currently.
And being able to work with a personal trainer if you want to, even like every so often, is like even levels up a little bit more.
For sure, and a quick shout out to that is, it's a semi-private training session, which is something that a lot of people don't know we do out there, and this is something that other people speaking to right now. You can do this, but our trainers can train more than one person at a time. So like in the world of fitness, people really often hear like the term personal training, which is what you hear 99% of the time, which is a one-on-one session. But a semi-private session is when you're training with 2 or 3, maybe 4, maybe up to 7 other athletes, all doing separate programming, but with one coach during that session. So you're getting individualized programming, just like a personal training session. But for me, I'm hanging out with 2 of my other buddies who are also getting personalized sessions at that time. So it's like my favorite session of the entire week, because I'm hanging out with 2 of my really good friends, but also focusing on my individual self and fixing the problems with my body that I've been wanting to fix. So that brings me a lot of joy too.
Cool. Well, good luck with your strength goals.
Thank you.
And that has been today's episode for Time.
Appreciate it.